Hello and welcome to my podcast, Up Your Total Glow, your podcast for your body, mind, and soul, to support, guide, and empower you to uncover the most glowing, feel good, healthiest version of you. I'm super excited that you're here because if you ask me, there's nothing that looks and feels better. Today I have another special guest for you. Today I'm talking with Carin Gala, who is the author of the amazing vegan cookbook Lick Your Plate. I had so much fun chatting with Carin about her journey of health and well-being, her passion about healthy food and eating, how important movement is in her life, and also that we are all continuously on our own journey of growth and self-loving exploration. Honestly, Carin and I, we have so much in common, and I feel we could have gone on chatting forever. I hope you will have as much fun with this episode as she and I had. Enjoy. I am super excited to have Carin Gala with me today, who is the author of her amazing cookbook, Lick Your Plate. Yes. Hi, beautiful. How are you?
Hello, Ruth. It's so nice to meet you. I have been following you on Instagram for years and years.
I didn't even know that.
Oh, there you go. I mean, not like
Crazy.
every day, like
What do you mean not every day?
I get feeds every now and then, and I see like, oh, she's offering this practice and this recipe, and I find it inspiring because it's completely in alignment with what I believe in. So really nice to meet you.
That is so funny though, because I truly didn't know that we were connected on Instagram. Only when I heard about your amazing cookbook, and I realized actually we have some friends in common, and I thought, oh, you are the right person for me to have you here on my podcast. I saw actually, oh, there she is on Instagram, and I thought it just happened then. I thought, it's a thing of the universe. So that's so cool. Okay.
Yeah, perfect. Just before Christmas, we've got all the Christmas decoration, and
So beautiful.
I'm so happy to speak to you right now. Oh, yeah.
Same, because I feel we are absolutely aligned. So tell me about your journey with your health and well-being.
Wow. In a nutshell, we say, right? I did grow up hang on, wind back. My family is Slovakian, so they didn't know anything about vegetarianism.
Yeah.
But then they met this Indian guru when I was about 1.5 and followed him and became vegetarian. And so
Wow.
my mom learned how to cook vegetarian while I started to eat, basically. And
Lucky you.
well, kind of lucky and not so lucky because back then, I'm 38 now, and back then they didn't have all these super cool things in the supermarkets. We
Yeah,
had
true.
a health food store, there were just a few things, and it was like super wholemeal and heavy. And I was like, I want that fluffy bread. And I got like the really heavy bread. So
You
I was
wanted
quite,
the white one.
oh yeah. Oh yeah, the brezel in Germany
Yeah.
I went to, right? And so I felt quite traumatized from that. But I went to a vegetarian boarding school and I got pocket money, and I used to spend the pocket money on as much sugar as I could buy
That
because
is
she didn't
so
allow
funny.
me to have sugar.
Yeah.
Oh, like reverse reaction. And then when I was 19, I was smoking cigarettes. I was having Snickers for breakfast. I was having a Coke and a smoke, and I was like so depressed. I was like, oh, someone pick me up from this planet. I just wasn't feeling good, as you can
I
imagine.
wonder why.
I wonder why. Yeah.
Weird.
And then
Yeah.
when I was 19, I was like, I'm getting out of here, and I'm going to move to Australia. It was really random. I was just like English speaking, sun, mangoes, and I went. And
Yep.
then
I
in
can relate.
Australia, you can relate because you did something similar.
I did.
Right. And it was so awesome to be there. because it was a new country, I could start fresh. And people were running at 6 a.m., going for swims before work and after. Hardly anyone smoked. And people were like buying all these green vegetables coming out of their bags. I was like, I want to be one of them. And that's really how it started. And then I found this book called Healing with Whole Foods from my friend. And I was just reading it. It was like traditional Chinese medicine, macrobiotics. And I
Beautiful.
was like, oh, so interesting. But it was so hard. I used to eat like azuki beans for breakfast and tempeh, and I was like so proud of myself. And then in the afternoon, I'd go and buy a tub of ice cream
Uh,
because I couldn't handle the kind of different feelings.
yeah.
And then I would overindulge in that and like feel so sorry for myself. So it was like this huge spiral to get out of these
Wow.
habits.
Wow.
And yeah, and then my father passed when he was 60 years old, which was only some years after that. And I was like, I got to give cooking classes. I got to show people that you can make healthy, delicious things that are also exciting.
Yes.
And like, so all these things just happened over the years and continues to work on me. It's a work in progress. I mean,
As
I
we
still,
are.
right?
Yes. Yes. Wow,
Yeah,
beautiful. There's
in a
so
nutshell.
much, there's so much in there. So first of
Yeah.
all, I'm really sorry to hear about your father. Would
Thank
you
you.
say that this was the huge inspiration or the nudge that you needed to really have this
Yeah.
mission in life, or
So already before I was really into it, I was already into nutritional science,
yeah.
and he was even telling me Ayurveda tips because you
Oh yeah.
mentioned Ayurveda,
Yeah,
and
I
he was into
love Ayurveda.
Ayurveda.
Yeah.
He gave me this book, and we used to like experiment and try things. He did like a panchakarma thing, and
Oh, cool.
so we were kind of into it, but not out of necessity. Well, kind of. I mean, I was smoking, so I don't know. But
Still.
when I was before, but then when he passed, that was when he died. That was when I realized I'm not going to wait until I'm old and experienced and wise and know everything. I'm going to do it right now. And I
Mm.
did a cooking class like 2 months after he died. And I just invited people to make the things that I had recently discovered. And they weren't even really my recipes. I tweaked them a bit.
Mm.
And it felt just really right to do that and not wait till it's all perfect. So yes, that the death really kicked me in the ass. And I thought, okay, I might be dead next week. So let's get on with it.
Yeah, wow. And
Yeah.
that's such an important message, I feel,
Mm,
because I think if we wait, we might be waiting forever because
mm,
I don't think there is a perfect, or I don't think we will ever be ready. There's always more to learn. There's always other
mm,
and new things.
mm.
Or at least that's how I feel about it.
I'm curious, what drives you? I know you're interviewing me, but I would like
No,
to
no,
know
that's fine.
too.
That's new.
Yeah.
So there are a few things that drive me.
Mm,
At the age of 15, I had a head operation, a brain aneurysm. So it was summertime in Germany, and I was going with my crew, my friends, to the pools, and I dived in. And when I came out, pretty quickly, I was feeling really horrible, like a huge headache, and then pretty quickly I couldn't see anymore. I was trying to find on all fours where my towel was, and was feeling sick, and yeah. And
mm,
so I was very lucky because not many people get to survive a brain aneurysm. And also
mm.
my doctors were pretty sure I would stay disabled. So
Wow.
that left me then in coma for 2 weeks. And when I woke up, I had to relearn everything, really, from speaking to walking to seeing to thinking. So everything, motoric, everything. And
Whew.
yeah, that,
Mm,
but
mm,
it was one of the hardest, but one of the best experiences for me, because I knew how I wanted to live. I so knew, and I also somehow knew my body can do this.
mm,
If I give my body the right support, it will heal itself.
mm,
And this is what happened. And this filled me with this knowledge and this passion for our bodies, that if we give our bodies the right support, they are incredible. They will always do what they can to heal themselves. And then in my early 20s, I fell into the modeling world, which wasn't good for me at all. So few things, I think there were a few unhealed things in myself, which had left a self-loving hole. So my self-love wasn't quite there yet. And also I was very shy, and this environment is very much like a meat market and not good for me at all. And that then had me make the choice to overtrain and diet, even though I don't have a body that needs it. I mean, who needs it? That's I think I hope you know what I mean. No one needs it, but I was a slim body anyway. I was a slim body. I had a slim body anyway. And anyway, so that then showed me that there's more than just healing the body, but there's also healing the mind required for total health. Well, surprise. But but that was my journey. And then, as a mom, then I noticed how important self-nurture is. So these are the three components that really drive me.
I bet that wasn't an easy lesson to learn, that you have to nourish yourself, otherwise you can't be a mom.
No, all three lessons were really hard, and I feel I'm a huge masterpiece and work in progress, because I'm not 38 like you. I'm 47, and still learning, and have so many huge lessons in life, which I'm really grateful for. But I feel, obviously I need all of them.
Yeah, I really hear you. Like, I was rushing earlier, kind of trying to make my story short, but I want to say, after my father died, I was really strict about diet. Like, that stuff is bad, it's going to kill you, and that stuff is good. And I was like that for nearly for some years. And then over time, I eased into it and went through different stages and phases of saying, definitely not going to touch that. And actually, that's okay. Oh, no, I'm not going to touch that. Da, 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 da. But I was still really focused on the food. And I was really reliant on it. Like, I'm going to be healthy if I do that. And or don't do that. And then my mom died 6 years ago. And when that happened, I realized, hang on a minute, that the emotional aspect of life, the believing in yourself, self-love care, setting boundaries, and doing what you really want to do in life and how you want to do it and with who, all that stuff is so important, that I was like, for a while, I was like, who cares about this kind of food? Like, I had a phase of like, hang on a minute. So now, since then, I've been combining that more. I started dancing way before that, which has kind of kept me mentally, emotionally afloat. And when she passed, and in the recent years, I'm like, I got to bring that into the kitchen. So
beautiful.
But it's I also think it's beautiful, and it's out of necessity, it's out of desperation. It's like, I can't live, I can't do this if it's just whatever. So I really hear your process as well, and your progress, and I think we're all so similar in a way as
we
humans.
are. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. We were meant to meet like this, that's for sure. Okay, tell me more about your dancing. I'm really interested in this. And also, you sort of said a little bit about it, but how important movement is for you, because as you know, this is another huge part that I'm very passionate about, another of us.
You're a personal coach, personal trainer.
And yoga teacher,
And yoga teacher.
Personal trainer, that sounds so with the whip.
Well, the fitness stuff, like how to build muscle and that kind of thing.
Yes,
I was
absolutely.
so interested in that. Like, when I was at school, I used to say, I want to become a fitness trainer. And back then my teacher was like, well, how many cigarettes are you smoking a day? I'm like, 5, and he just laughed it off, which I'm actually a bit upset about. But anyway, that's another story. But I found that passion myself. I realized, like, going for runs, starting to do some yoga in the my early 20s,
Beautiful.
um, really, really helped a lot.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I lost the thread now. I'm not sure what you asked me just a second ago.
Just in
Sorry.
general, what movement means for you,
What
and
movement?
how,
Yes. Yes,
and
movement
dance
and
also.
breath. Yes. So dance, I don't mean salsa and steps, but it's about listening to the body and seeing how it wants to move
Mm,
and moving in that way.
mm,
And when we do that for a while on the dance floor and breathe consciously,
mm.
so we're not like, but more deeper,
Yeah.
and sometimes make sounds, then things come up.
Yeah.
And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden, like, oh, I'm so angry about this thing.
Yeah.
And then the music gets louder, and then you like stomp it out, and then you go, rah, and it's just like goosebumps up the spine and through the body. And like,
Mm.
there's a release of stuff that we carry in our bodies, as far
Yes.
as I understand.
Absolutely. And I feel
Mm.
it's so important to actually not hold on to them and carry them in our bodies, but to let them flow through you and flow out, as you have beautifully described. So
Mm.
dancing, I think, is a very, very beautiful way to, yeah, go into your body and let it be moved.
Yeah, but there's different ways. Like, sometimes I just go for a walk or a run, but it's kind of how you do it as well. It's
Absolutely.
not like, oh,
Absolutely.
I'm doing this thing, I'm so good, but actually like, oh, and then, oh, she said this thing, and I was like, ah,
Yeah.
like running and letting it go. So many
Absolutely.
ways. I just really took to dance. I like music,
Yeah.
and I like being with other bodies in the room who are like
Yeah.
exploring. But my partner teaches conscious movement,
Yeah.
and he's been teaching it for 30 years or so. So he's
Beautiful.
does loads of workshops and retreats all over the world, and I love joining them because I can see how we are not the same after the sessions.
Yeah.
So much moved, and there's also sharing,
Yeah.
there's words are useful as well. And that process of exploring our emotional inner landscape is so entertaining. Like
Yes.
the good and the bad, the
Yes.
ugly and the beautiful. It's
Yes.
so alivening. I never get bored. It's
Yeah. I don't think there's any boring, anything boring about, humankind, body, mind, soul. I think that's so obviously that's what I do. I just
yeah.
love everything about it. And tell me a little bit more about your recent workshop. I think you had one on Saturday, which I was
hmm
desperate to join, but I didn't make it, unfortunately. Because you said there as well, you included dancing.
Yes. So we did start. I'm gonna just I'll show you some of the things that we made. Whoa, whoopsie daisies. So
Explosion in the
we
kitchen.
it happens when you're in a rush. Um, we started off by dancing after we introduced ourselves, and like to move in the kitchen.
Mhm,
It's like moving brings some kind of sensuality and the kind of realness of how I'm actually going today. Because if I
mhm.
feel crap, I'm gonna feel it.
Yeah,
Or if I
yeah,
feel angry, and then you can
yeah,
kind of shake it off a
yeah.
bit, and your leg, and to bring that awareness in the kitchen is really sweet. It's really special because you're gonna put that energy into the food,
Absolutely.
right?
Beautiful.
And
Yeah.
so when we were rolling these balls, which are like burnt fig roast almond balls, for example, there you go, have one
That's
arm.
so mean. Oh no.
You
Stop
gotta
teasing.
make some. So I don't know, you can just like go down on your knees a little bit, and you can just like roll because you gotta stand there for a while rolling,
Cool. Yeah.
and pelvis forward. You could take a few deep breaths while you're rolling your balls
Oh,
instead
beautiful.
of worrying about your taxes or whatever. Um, yeah, and I mean everyone's going to have their own way of doing it, but I brought a little bit of that into it. We did a lot. We also made some cookies, and we made
Oh,
more balls and some more cookies. So it was a lot to get done, but that bringing a little kind of relaxation movement into the getting shit done
Mm-hmm.
just made it more manageable and possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
I
that
love
that
that.
really works for me. So I'm glad it works for other people too. I'm like, yeah, that really works for me.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm like, oh.
Beautiful. Tell me, so you mentioned a few times when you
Mm,
were still smoking. So obviously that seems to be the past. So how did you
yeah.
stop smoking and when did you stop smoking and why?
Yeah. It was in 2003, and it was when I moved to Sydney, and I just really wasn't feeling well. I just felt it in my whole body. I was like, it's not, I wasn't one of those young people that could just pack it away and I was fine. I was coughing. I didn't feel healthy. I was not in a good space.
Which is
And
kind of lucky, I think, because these people who
yeah,
can
yeah,
pack it away, I
hmm
don't think anybody can really pack it away forever. So, you know, if your body
hmm
is telling you sooner, stop, that's
yeah,
not working.
mm,
Yeah, the sooner you stop, the easier to heal. So that's
yeah.
lucky.
Yeah, but before that, when I was in Germany, I tried to stop many times. I just started again, and I read the book "Quit Smoking Forever" by Alan Carr, and
Yeah, I read that
oh,
too.
it's so boring. Oh my God! But it works.
It
It
does
kind
work.
of it. Yeah.
I think this, or that's, you tell me as well, but I
hmm
think
hmm
to stop smoking works when you are ready to stop smoking. When you're not yet ready to stop smoking, it doesn't work no matter what you are going
Mm.
to try and do. That's my opinion on it. Tell me your opinion. What do you think? Or what?
Well,
Yeah.
that's interesting. I really felt like I was ready to stop before in
Okay.
Germany. I was like, I really want to stop. I really want to stop. Like, please, dear God, please let me stop. And I just kept starting again. And then I moved to Australia, number one. I didn't know anyone. I had to make new friends, start a new life. And then that helped, right? Being in a country where hardly anyone smokes. And then I met a guy, a man, who felt to me like a soulmate.
Mhm.
And I had never experienced that before. I was 19 and I
Mhm.
was like, I really like hanging out with you.
Mhm.
And it was funny because he didn't live in the same city, but we had met and spent a bit of time together. And then every time I wanted to smoke, I thought about him, and it gave me so much joy, or
Mhm.
like some kind of like hope and inspiration, that it helped me not to go for the cigarette.
Mhm.
It's like
Okay,
my own little experience
that's
secret.
super
Yeah.
interesting. What
Yeah.
I hear
Yeah.
out of this, if I may say,
Yeah.
is that at that time before, your self-love wasn't big enough to stop smoking
Mm.
for the love of yourself. And
hmm
then when you met your soulmate, you could borrow this love to fill that in.
I think you might be onto something, and I haven't put it in those words before. Yeah, my self-love, when you said earlier you were insecure and shy, and
Mm.
I was so insecure and shy. I mean, it was just horrible.
It's hard to believe in when I see you now, but yeah.
Yeah, great. I'm making up for it now. I'm like, fuck it. I don't care anymore. I don't care what people think. I don't care if I look funny and sound this and that. I'm really nothing like I used
Beautiful.
to be
Beautiful.
in that way. Yeah, so self-love, you're right.
Mm.
Yeah, love in general. It could be all kinds of love. Yeah,
Absolutely. But I think
yeah.
the strongest love is the self-love. So self-love
Mm,
first, and then,
mm,
it swaps over. But I feel,
mm.
especially for us women, it's often the hardest one.
Yeah.
At
And
least that's
also,
my experience, my own, and also what I see
yeah.
in my clients.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how men go with self-love. Oh, I don't know how. Yeah.
Well, they
Hmm.
obviously they don't
But
talk
they
in
don't talk like us
words,
about it.
but
Yeah.
they are more used to pay more attention to how they feel. So when they are tired, they are tired. They really, except when it's for work mainly, they rarely will then overextend beyond whatever. Whereas
Mm.
we women, we're like, are you tired? Yeah. Why are you still going? Well, listen, this is not done yet. if you
Yeah.
ask a guy, well, I'm tired, so I need to stop.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
it-
interesting.
that's
Yeah,
it.
no, that's interesting. I'm hearing you because you've got experience with interviewing people about their lives and their lifestyle.
Also with my
Yeah.
clients. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean, your
Yeah.
clients, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, it's fair to say a few months after I quit, I went to a Vipassana meditation. And
Beautiful.
yeah, I was 19 and I was like, I got to change my life. I am not digging this existence. And I went, and after that, I meditated because I didn't have any friends really, any network of people. I meditated an hour in the morning and in the evening.
Yeah. Beautiful.
And that was, I didn't feel like smoking. I was focused on my
Yeah.
breath and the connection to the universe. And that was
To
quite,
yourself. So
well,
the
yeah,
connection to the universe is to
yeah,
yourself as well. And this
yeah.
is for me
Mm,
one of the quickest ways to actually establish self-love, this feeling to your inner goddess with
mm,
the outside goddess
mm,
universe thing,
mm,
whatever we want to
mm,
call it.
mm.
It's interesting because I could just hear from the way you used your wording, like with the smoking before, you said, please God, I gotta
Mm,
stop. And then as well, you were
mm,
like, I gotta do something. It was so outside of you. And
mm,
then, when you described the
mm,
meditation, it started to
mm.
grow inside of you. So the words that we
Yeah,
use are very descriptive. They are very powerful.
you're right. And I think that has a lot to do with going to boarding school when I was 8. I really learned to shut off my feelings
Yeah.
again and again and again over a long time until I was able to not cry
Yeah.
and not feel. And
Yeah.
I practiced it so well, and I still am working on that, obviously.
Yeah.
But it doesn't surprise me that I wasn't able to feel any self-love and connection to
Yeah.
myself and
Yeah.
that life energy.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel movement really helps me
Yeah.
because I can get in that very easily. I'm so used to it, that
Yeah.
kind of I'm
Yeah.
not important. Nyeh,
Yeah.
nyeh, nyeh.
Yeah.
But when I move, it's like, oh, hang on a minute. Oh,
Yeah.
I want to be hugged or
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
I love that. That's
yeah.
so beautiful. And thank you so much for sharing that. Obviously,
Mm,
you being at the young age of 8 at a boarding school,
yeah.
that is probably a very hard experience. But thank you for sharing this. I feel it's so important and can help so many of my listeners to understand, you know, all of their emotions and what's
Yeah.
happening and what's
Have more
driving.
self-compassion
Exactly.
with
Yeah.
oneself.
Absolutely. That
Yeah.
anyway. That
That anyway for anyone, everywhere.
all the time,
All the
always,
time, everyone.
always. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, let's get into
Yes.
your book because
Mm,
I'm so keen on this book.
mm,
Obviously, I love plant-based nutrition because without doubt, it's the best thing to really up our inner and outer glow. However, it is my experience that very often plant-based nutrition either then doesn't taste very good
mhm,
or not my own, not what I'm making up, but or it could also be then that it's it tastes really bland and healthy, so one or the other. I find it hard to find really good plant-based cookbooks that I can really
mm,
cook every page of and
mhm,
love and also recommend to any of my clients
mhm,
and of course to
mm,
all of you amazing listeners.
mm,
So tell me about the
mm.
cookbook.
Yeah,
Why,
so
how, when, and why is it so special? And yeah, hit me.
it's yeah. I made this because it's a book that I would want to buy for someone who was a chain smoker, a sugar addict, a gluten addict, and wasn't connected to my body, etc. So each and every recipe in here I found in my life. And when I tried making it, it actually, I could feel how different I felt.
Mm.
I assisted macrobiotic cooking classes and other cooking classes, and it's just I don't even know. Oh, I don't know. Can you ask more specifically? I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, there's so
It's,
much you want to
I
say and
know
share.
it's
You don't
like
know where to start. I know that
plant-based,
feeling.
gluten-free, refined, sugar-free. Um, but why? Yeah, that's a really good point. Okay, so I could say, so sugar makes me feel rubbish.
Yeah,
It does not make me feel good. And I still have sugar sometimes. I also
yeah,
have gluten. I'm not even 100% vegan, you know, I'm quite flexible, but I know that if you leave out mainly gluten-free, sugar, dairy, um, it's I just feel so much better. And it also came about being a personal chef in Sydney, and
yeah.
people wanted, say, can you cook for me? I can eat this, I can't eat
Mhm.
that. And over 10 years, I just reduced it down to, well, most people don't want sugar, dairy, or gluten,
Mm.
basically. And it was vegetarian, vegan anyway. And that's the food that works for lots of people who have autoimmune diseases, they have other diseases, chronic fatigue, or they just want to feel good, they want to be healthy, they want to nourish their families. And that kind of food kind of ticked all the boxes for
Mm.
everyone.
Wonderful. So
Yeah.
how do you make it still so delicious?
Ah,
Mhm.
okay, so there is a little trick. So I know that there are some people who are like really like into health, and I really admire them because they can eat things without too much salt and oil in them and not too many things. But I'm a bit of a sucker for flavor,
Mhm.
and so
Same. I love health. I'm a total health nutter. It's not a
yeah,
secret, but I love
yeah.
flavor too. No
Okay,
compromise on
good.
either.
Okay, but I admire it. You know, some people can eat whatever. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about these other people. But what I like to do is I like to really you know, like umami flavor is
Mm.
created with, is it sweet, salty, sour, astringent, bitter maybe? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
So you put a bit of everything. So a lot of the recipes have a dash of apple cider vinegar in them,
Hmm.
like the
Mm.
soups and stews. Very German, it's normal in Germany, but in England no one really, it's not known, or in Australia. And salt and pepper and a bit of sweetness, and loads of pepper and loads of thyme and rosemary and this and that, like just a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I'm not scared of oil and I'm not scared of salt. So I go for it, and I really make the dishes so I really, really like them,
Mm, yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the colors.
Yeah. Same. Same.
Yeah,
So make it fun. Yeah, so this is one of
yeah.
the things I get hit with the most, that people think if they start eating healthy, it will be boring and bland and super expensive and difficult to
Mm.
make and will take them forever. So can you say something about this?
Well, yes. I think you have to choose your recipes well. It's probably a good idea if your friend says, "Hey, mate, I made this thing the other day. It took like half an hour and I had food for a few days." Whatever. You know, there are recipes that take longer, you know,
Yeah.
like my
Yeah, of
lasagna
course. Of
takes
course.
2.5 hours. You got to
Yeah.
make all this stuff, you know. Um, so yeah, you got to choose. But I mean, I love vegan food. It's like
Mm.
even for me, as a vegan chef, the word vegan has a connotation of missing something. It's kind of a bit, there's a hole, it's kind of bland.
Mm.
Even for me, like it's so ingrained in the society somehow, I think.
What
But
about plant-based?
yeah, I think plant-based for me is a bit more colorful. That's why I called it the plant-based
Mm.
gluten-free book.
Yeah,
But it is completely vegan.
yeah,
But because there's so many different components you can add, and you
exactly.
have to think about it a little bit. So in the fridge, I have, you know, like I've always got toasted nuts and seeds, and there's
Mm.
some pickled things. There's some sauerkraut and whatever, pickled cucumbers in the fridge, and I soak things overnight all the time. So it's part of my life. It's
Yeah,
not just, you know, like so you soak your grains overnight, or your beans, or some tinned beans. You can use, but yeah, you got to think about it.
sound like me.
It's a self-responsibility, but I feel like
Yeah,
I'm so passionate to teach people to find the passion to do that, to
yeah,
actually really want to. It's not like forcing yourself, it's to really want to. Wow, that felt so good to eat. I'm going to make that again.
yeah,
I'm going to soak my quinoa and then I'm going to cook it the next day because I care about myself.
yeah. Exactly.
And that's tricky business. That's where a lot of the emotional stuff comes in, but it's really possible. And I think we can inspire each other.
Yeah,
We
I
need each
agree
other.
totally. And lift each other up. I totally agree. And
Yeah.
this is why I always say and really am convinced that to be really healthy and live a healthy life, self-love is the foundation for it. Because if it's sort of
Yeah.
imposed on us that we have to eat healthy and move because to get thin, it's sort of it,
Yeah.
it's not that desire that comes from the inside, and that
Mm.
won't work. Yeah, so
Yeah,
totally
it's
with you. um
yeah.
so tell me, okay, you already said you yourself eat probably about 80% plant-based and then 20% just whatever you love eating. I love that as well. That's also something I'm really passionate about, to not make it too ruled or strict.
Mm.
I think we are also individuals, so it's important to find your own way, what works for you.
Mm.
But not, don't make it so over imposed and perfect doesn't exist anyway.
No.
um
Oh, yeah. Woohoo.
have you
Yeah.
got a favorite dish in the book, or a favorite recipe that you can share with
Mm.
us? Or you know what, can you just flip through the book a
Mm.
little bit so we get
Yeah,
to see
sure. Yeah, I really, really, I so love everything you're saying. Like, it used to sound cliche to me. It's all about love and
I
self-love, and
know.
but it's so true.
Yeah,
But like,
yeah,
excuse my
it is.
language. So let's see. It's a new one, so it doesn't open as much. Okay, there's a bit of a
Beautiful.
story and all. Um, breakfast, entrees, burgers, side dishes, salads, whole grain salads, pickles, noodles, soups and stews and
Oh, yum, I'm
curry,
getting hungry.
bakes, and then dips and sauces and hummuses, and then the cakes. Oh, my favorite, chocolate
Beautiful.
beetroot with raspberry.
Oh, yum.
And I got into all of this through the back door, through the desserts.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So really the dessert section in this is really nice. So raw desserts, so raw
Yum.
foodie desserts, and then cookies and yeah, cookies and bliss balls.
Yeah, can't live without bliss balls, that's for sure. What sweeteners do you use?
Yeah, so I used to be called the sugar-free fairy in Sydney because
Mm.
I was like 20 years ago, I was trying to quit sugar. So tried like apple juice concentrate, dates, rice syrup, stevia.
Mhm.
And over the years, what I've done is I've combined it. So the chocolate cake that you saw,
Mhm.
because it's a chocolate cake, I don't believe in using apple juice sweetener for this particular one. And I put muscovado sugar or coconut sugar.
Mhm.
So it does have that normal chocolate cake taste.
Mhm.
But then there's the banana bread that has no sweetener. It's just some dates,
Mhm.
sultanas.
Well, dates are also sweeteners.
They are. But
I
I
guess
mean,
if you want to
no.
eat something sweet, you have to add something sweet somehow.
Sure, but I mean, no processed
Yeah,
liquid out
okay.
of a tube, you
Yeah,
know.
fair
So
enough.
I mix it up, and some of them I have stevia and rice syrup together
Okay.
because just stevia tastes a bit
Metallic.
metallic. It's nice with some fruit as well.
Yeah.
So just kind of figured out, and some of the cookies are nice with maple syrup, some with rice syrup, and some with sugar. And so it, yeah, there's only a few without any of the sweeteners. So it's kind of low sugar. Like it's still got the natural sweeteners
Yeah.
all throughout, but you can also lessen them. You
I
know, you
love that you
can,
mix it up. And that's
yeah.
how I cook anyway. I always make sorry, but I always make each recipe, even my own, every single time my own again. So I just
Okay.
mix it up, and I don't know, I just find it really hard to cook exactly the way it's said there. And as I said, even with my own recipes, I just then, I don't know, try to again, oh, but about this, and I
Mm,
haven't tried out this, and
mm.
also I don't know, I am
Lovely. I love
I'm
that.
very spontaneous in the kitchen, so sometimes I just feel like, oh, okay, I really feel like chocolate cake. Now let's make a chocolate cake. What do I have in the fridge?
Hmm.
And then I
Right.
don't have half of the things that I
Yeah.
would usually put in. So I have to make up something new. This is kind of me, and it doesn't always work out.
Sure.
And it also means that when I then try to write down my recipes, I don't really know how much I used because
Hmm.
I just sort of, so this makes
I
it
find
really hard.
that's so joyful though. Like I really love doing that. Sometimes, like it's funny when I treat myself, I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna cook and not look at any recipes. Puh, like I'm gonna follow my feeling. And
Yeah.
it's so enjoyable when you can do it. And some people who start and don't know where to start, they have to have a recipe book or someone in the kitchen with them to
Yeah.
show them. I think
Yeah.
it's really quite difficult. So there are recipes that are really simple to make for a beginner, like kitchery, as you would know from the
Yeah.
Ayurvedic
Beautiful.
kitchen. You can't go too wrong. Doesn't matter what spices you use, and
Beautiful.
I mean you can burn the hell out of it, but you gotta have some kind of a danger. Um, and I wanted to show you just one of my favorite things that I love to make for, if someone asks me to cook for them, the first thing that I would choose is often my cauliflower chia fritters. I don't know if you've
Mm.
tried them.
No.
So it's grated cauliflower, like raw cauliflower,
Yum. Mm.
mixed with chickpea flour, turmeric, and there's a green goddess dip on it, which is
Mm.
tahini blended with parsley and lemon
Oh,
juice.
yum. I love tahini.
Oh, I love these because they're a bit naughty because they're fried in coconut oil, but it's like crunchy and beautiful
Oh,
cruciferous vegetable inside. So I
yum.
recommend start with that one.
Okay, great. Okay, awesome.
Yeah,
Oh, sounds
yeah.
so good. I love it.
Yeah, and I just want to say, like, I know how difficult it is to start a new recipe and a new way of cooking. I had things on my fridge for years until I was like, I'm ready now to walk to the shops and buy these ingredients and make it. It's
Yeah.
such a big change. So I'm planning in the new year to offer free or by donations cooking classes every season
Oh,
so that
wow.
people who are not sure, they don't want to commit, they're like, I'm not really into cooking, they can just join online and just see how it goes. And if they feel inspired, that's awesome.
Amazing. That
Yeah.
is such a beautiful offer.
Mm.
And again, I can so relate to what you just said, through the eyes of my clients. It takes it takes so much for them to actually call me and say, hey,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm.
know, I can you help? So
Mm.
I think it really it is not easy when you feel you don't know where to start, and it's also overwhelming, and maybe it's a certain language that you and I speak, or that it sounds effortless, but yeah, so totally I love that idea. That's beautiful.
Mm.
um
I
I
would
might
like to.
come to one of those calls if I'm allowed
Yes,
to.
you must. Everyone's allowed to. I basically send out a Zoom link in my newsletter, so everyone who's subscribed, they just get the recipes in the Zoom
Beautiful.
link and they can join. They don't even have to tell me, you can just show up.
Okay, make
Um,
sure that I put all of this in the show notes so that
mm,
everyone knows
mm,
how to reach and find you. Can you
mm.
maybe just now say the most important ways how people can reach
Mhm.
you?
Sure. Yeah, it's on my website, which is like this, galasorganickitchen.com.
Okay, great. And this is
That's it.
also where people can buy your book, or
Yeah, that's where they can buy my book as well. And the books, there's a lot of them in Germany, so they can be hand delivered within Germany or sent from Germany to all over the world, as well as from here. I'm in England. Um, that's right.
but I'm pretty
Um,
sure I will make a deal with Maria Carin so that also I will be able to
I would
get
be so
you.
happy to give you a discount code for my shop or something for your
Yeah,
clients, or we're going to talk about it.
yeah.
We'll make
Gonna
sure
talk
that
about that later.
it's more welcoming for you. Like I don't like I just want you to have it. So we'll sort something out.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to quickly say something about what we just talked about, just to finish off. I realize we're talking about, like them, the clients and us.
Yeah,
And
no, that's not what I meant. Yeah.
no, I know. But just for the listeners, I just want to say from myself as well, the reason why I do this is because I need it.
Yeah.
That's what I need. And I
Same.
believe that's probably why you do what you
Absolutely.
do,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
So
And
there is that.
and
Yeah.
as I always say as well, I'm always a work in progress and a masterpiece at the same time. So I didn't really mean to say, oh, look at us, we are so great. And
No, yeah. Yeah, I just
and
wanted to
yeah, no, totally.
clarify that from my
Thank you.
side as well, because people often think I'm the perfect eater and I never eat this and I never do
Mm,
that. And it's like, actually, I have been smoking a few cigarettes
mm,
and my throat hurts and it doesn't feel good
mm,
and I don't want to do it. And I do drink things and eat things that I
mm.
don't like, but sometimes I'm okay with it, sometimes I'm not. I'm like this constant work in progress.
Yeah.
And I love meeting uh, others from that space. It's not
Yeah.
like I'm better than you. I'm going to show you how to do everything. It's
Yeah,
like,
no, I'm totally with you. And I
yeah,
also think we are all the time in flow, so things do change all the time anyway. It's not possible to stay at one level, or if there's a level, I don't know.
yeah.
Absolutely. Totally.
Thank you.
Thank you
Yes.
for clarifying that and saying that again. So tell me, if you were a particular meal or a dish or a particular food, which one would you be?
Ooh, if I was a meal,
Hmm.
ooh,
And
oh, that's
why?
really interesting.
Difficult. I was thinking about that myself. It's so hard to pick. Depends on the situation, how I feel. But yeah,
It's such a funny question. I've never been asked that. I have no idea. I have to think about this. Um,
right now in
uh,
this moment, it can also be a drink if you feel like something.
uh, I definitely wouldn't be a coffee. Um, I think something more like quinoa salad or something, because there's like different things in
Yeah,
there. Like there's a little bit
yeah,
of sour, a bit of crunchy, a bit of sweet, bit of
yeah.
baked, bit of raw, and you don't know what you're going to get in your next bite.
Oh, I love that.
But
That's
it's
so nice.
nourishing and good for you, and it's colorful.
Beautiful. I love that. Absolutely.
What about you?
Yeah, I was thinking that. I think for me, it's always different. Depends really on the situation.
Yeah,
So,
right now.
right now, I feel like I'm actually a little bit thirsty. So I would really feel like
Mm,
a green smoothie that is thick and
mm,
creamy, but also rehydrating. But I
nice.
don't think it's always a green smoothie. So I really,
Yeah.
really love a creamy porridge in the morning with chocolate and yeah,
Ooh.
sometimes spices. I also love, of course, vegetables in, I don't know, made in the oven or in a nice stew. I just love food.
What do you put in your green smoothie? Because that's always a good secret. Like, look, people make smoothies, but they're all different. Would you
Yeah,
share with us?
again, so I make it up whatever I have at home. I know that I've got celery at home and I've got kiwi, and I will definitely put in banana. Maybe if the banana is not ripe enough, a date or two. So definitely make it sweet. I'll put in something to make it more rich. I love the richness.
Mm,
So maybe a spoonful of tahini or avocado.
mm.
Yeah. And
Do
I
you put
might put in also,
powders?
yeah,
Hmm.
I do like, I'm a big fan of spirulina,
Hmm.
but that's also very personal. I know that's really good for me, for my individual makeup. And I also really like barley grass. So sometimes I put both in. There are lots of other things I like. I like
Mm,
ashwagandha and stuff, but for now I would put maybe even both in. Yeah.
nice. Do you put ground flax seeds or linseeds?
Yes, I do.
Mm,
I like them a lot. Again, it depends if I already had them in the morning or
yeah,
not.
yeah,
And then I might just add something else, maybe like psyllium husk or
yeah.
yeah.
Nice tips. Thank you. That's actually really interesting because seriously, some people they always put sunflower seeds, and I'm like, I never put sunflower seeds in my smoothie. Like,
Oh, me neither.
you know,
But
like,
I love
yeah.
sunflower seeds. in a lot of things, but not in my smoothie. So I like to make a white sauce out of sunflower seeds. I think this is really nice. And I like sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds over my salads if I don't have nuts in. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But no, I make it up. Anyway.
I think we need to have a podcast where we just talk about food.
Yeah.
I would really like that, but not now.
Okay, just a few more questions. I know we are running out of time here. Okay, so what would be your most important mission or take home message for the listener?
Yes, I have a tip. I can't, okay. I would say before you eat something, or if you crave some food, before you put it in your mouth, if you manage to take at least one conscious deep breath, possibly three, and I think that's a really awesome practice to just connect with yourself more in the state of craving and hunger and quickly feeding ourselves. And it connects us with our bodies a little bit more over time, especially. I think that's a neat little thing to take with us.
I love that so much because I'm very big on mindful eating. I feel this is really, I mean, in general on mindfulness, but I feel mindful eating is the quickest and I think the best way to really uncover our inner nutritionist again. You know, this little goddess within us that actually knows how much we need to eat to feel amazing. I'm not saying you can't eat more or less is most of the time not so good, but you know, this is the amount that really brings the best out in you. And then also this inner goddess also knows which foods and also when to eat. So this mindfulness is very, very strong. And I find by taking a breath in, we have a tool to get there. So that's beautiful.
I would have a suggestion for everyone listening and for us. Why don't we all just take a breath together right now?
Beautiful.
Even I'm just noticing myself. I'm like, I could do with one right now.
Always.
Okay.
Okay, let's take a deep breath in through the nose, through the throat, chest, and deep into the belly. And let's blow the belly out. And then let's reverse the breath. Beautiful. I love it. So important to blow that belly out as well. So that really helps me to ground. And I think, well, I can only speak for myself. I sort of feel we shouldn't do that. Our bellies should be thin and small. And, you know, so we tend to breathe right up to before the belly is. So right deep down.
You mean the belly out as in expand out? I thought you meant out as in blow the air out and push in, but you mean
no, I mean expand the belly as you breathe in, and then as you let the air travel out and up again, it returns. So you can really magic
yum 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 yum.
Okay, beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I feel there's a lot we haven't really touched upon. I feel there's a lot in for a second podcast. Is there anything you would still like to mention that's important?
I would like to say that anyone listening who knows me but doesn't know you yet, I'm also going to share your Instagram account and what you do, because I feel that the more inspiration to live a healthier, happier life is really awesome.
Oh,
So just thank you. Just thank you. And yeah, see you again.
it's so
Yeah.
beautiful to be connected. I feel
Oh.
this is a huge friendship happening right here and there, growing. No, really,
Yeah.
I'm so grateful
Mm,
too. You
mm,
are amazing.
mm.
And hey,
Thank
to
you.
all of you amazing listeners, get this book. And yes, let's meet in this cooking class of yours. When is the first one coming? Have you got a date set already?
No, I don't. I don't, but I also want to say that I forgot. If you sign up to my mailing list, you get a free ebook of some of my favorite recipes from there,
Oh,
like the
amazing.
one I mentioned with the fritters. So if you don't want to purchase straight away, don't worry, you can sign up and get the free ebook. And I love extending this love that me and you share for healthy, happy living with everyone. So
Yeah, the
people who
world.
come to the class, like, yeah, let's do this thing together. Let's inspire each other. So, yeah, I look
Absolutely.
forward to meeting you all and also meeting you in person. And who knows what can be in the future.
Absolutely. So I don't know about you, but I'm super excited. And thank you
Me too. Me
so
too.
much. That was beautiful.
Mm,
And I will
mm,
definitely right now subscribe to your newsletter. I want those free recipes as well, but I will
mm.
also make sure I get a few of those books and get a nice deal.
Yes, you will. I promise. There's loads for you.
Okay. Thank you
Okay.
so much, beautiful.
Mm.
Stay glowing.
Thank you. So nice to meet you and all of you listeners, and be in touch somewhere in the internet or in the world. Thank
Gorgeous.
you.
Speak
Yeah.
soon. Bye.
Bye.
I hope you had as much fun as I did with this interview. If you loved the episode, I would absolutely be thrilled if you gave me a 5-star rating on Apple Podcast and followed me on Spotify. I would also love it if you shared the love and recommended my podcast to anyone whom you think would really benefit from it. I know that you were born to live your best life and to feel absolutely wonderful in your amazing body, your brilliant mind, and your boundless soul. So please make sure you do. Keep glowing. Much love, your Ruth.